Welcome back, guys. I'm Kevin.
I'm Meg.
And this is Past the Aisle.
Welcome.
Happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day weekend.
Cool.
Cool.
So let's dive in.
Yeah, let's dive in. What's our topic today?
So today I want to talk about slow pace versus fast pace lifestyle.
Okay.
And
why?
How it's just how it influences the way that we live. You know, I think it impacts us just in our everyday routine and how we're living life and the decisions we make.
Yeah.
Is it a slow pace decision or is it a quick pace decision? And it just influences us.
Give me an example of what is a fast-paced.
So, I mean, a fast-paced lifestyle, and people would say California is really relaxed, like Californians, when they travel to, like, New York, for example. A lot of New Yorkers will see, they can tell off the bat if you're not a New Yorker by just how relaxed you are.
What are our examples?
Our example is that we are always constantly working. And
so you call it what we do right now fast-paced?
I would say it's faster than normal. It's probably not the fastest. I think over New York they do work more aggressively, or they just kind of always bounce from one place to another. But for us, we are almost working like them because we work from home and we're always surrounded by our work.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So just diving in and see how do you feel like do you notice any difference? Have you ran into a person that was slower paced than us?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think because we can never really turn off our brain, our entrepreneur brain or our creative brain sometimes. And like, we just went out with friends today and you could see Marcus and Emily still shooting, like still trying. They're artists, you know, they feel like they need to be creating all the time. And we're very much like that. Like, I may not shoot a lot, I think, but I'll exhibit my creativity in something. Like, I have to make something out of what I'm doing. And that feels very fast. Like, I must do something. Like, I must be productive. It's like in our culture, in the entrepreneur culture, to be productive. Like, if we feel we're not doing anything, we may feel like guilty or lazy or, oh, I could be working right now or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, for sure. I feel like we're fast-paced.
Yeah, we're fast.
In that way. I'm sure, like, a lot of people are even more fast, but if we were to, and we feel weird if we slow down too long. Like if we go to Maui for a week, we're like, that's good enough.
Yeah.
And I'm like aching to go work again.
Yeah.
You know, and we like our work too. We like what we do.
I mean, yeah, we love what we do.
So it's good. Like, it's like eating a really good meal. You're like, I must have it. You know,
you just need to devour everything.
Like, why are you eating so slow? Like, I get it. Like, you're to savor something. But at the same time, for those people who are foodies, like, when it's so good, you're like, I just want to have more.
But have you met someone that was slower pace?
I think the like a typical like 9-to-5er, the people that live for the weekend. Yeah. And I've been that person where.
Yeah. What was the difference like? Because I mean, I've never been a 9-to-5er.
It's painfully slow because you're bored out of your mind in your real job or in your job. And I always felt like because I'm creative, the moment I got to learn like Photoshop and stuff, I was like, oh my God, I can do so much more. But yet you have me here like doing some dumbass like menial job, right?
So you felt you weren't using your brain to the fullest potential?
And it felt so slow. And then if I'm commuting, I'm in the car and it's so slow. And even when I was working as an inspector, a lot of driving because you have to go from one place to another. When you're in the facility and you're like inspecting people, you're like, cool, this is like going fast paced, like something's always going down.
So how did you manage yourself knowing that this is so slow?
I mean, I was young. I didn't even know. I didn't have anything to compare it to. Especially if you're young, you're just like,
but now you have something to compare it to.
Now I'll be like, oh my God, that's so boring.
So you feel like we're doing so much more with our time than you were in that 9-to-5.
And then because we've hustled, I'd say there was a crunch time. There's always a crunch time, but there was like a crunch period in our 10, 11 years of doing this where we were crunch. And I would say that's before we moved. Collectively, it felt like that. I felt very like crunched. And then again, another crunch came like last year when we were trying to figure out our stuff. And I wasn't even a part of the KLV team yet.
Yeah, I feel like
full time.
Yeah, I feel there's always, within our relationship, there's always a transition period where we feel things need to be done, and they need to be done now.
Yeah. I mean, we've always been like that. We're not really procrastinators when it comes to work.
Yeah, that's true, because when it came to school, you were always the one leading within your group when it comes to projects. I was always the one leading and making sure we meet deadlines, whereas my roommate David at the time was always a slacker or just waiting to the last minute. And it was pretty annoying. So you really know who 9 to 5 kind of fits. A certain personality type, a certain person. Yeah, and if that person enjoys that lifestyle, that's great.
Yeah.
I always felt, and I'm glad that that you were on board, that you just kind of like.
I like getting it done.
Yeah,
I like moving it off my table.
You like the energy.
Yeah,
I think it's very rewarding. It's constant rewards, and that's why I felt attached to it. Yeah, I always felt
the type of lifestyle. You mean?
Yeah, the type of lifestyle was always normal for me.
Yeah.
And you know how you were talking about how sometimes I would, the topic of anxiety, like I try not to get your energy, your anxiety to influence your.
Let me clarify. So
clarify that.
You're really like in a scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
If I don't do this bad something will happen, right? So you have a scarcity mindset a lot of times, and I'm like, stop giving me that anxiety mindset because it's not really true.
It's not really true.
I could recognize it a little bit more, especially with a business, right? Like answering an email, for example.
But so that mindset, you already know it's a part of me, and it's always been a part of me. And it's always been a part of me in college as well. Like, I'm always a person 2 steps ahead. I'm like reading chapters, like, because they always give you the agenda, like the full agenda for the rest of the semester. I'm always.
It's fine when that's your that's your own standard.
Yeah, I kind of see it now that I don't even know why I majored in nursing.
Yeah,
but
don't be too far, because I won't be able to hear you in the.
I don't even know why I was in nursing, but it felt so natural for me that. It was all a part of the process.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
So why do you bring this up?
I want to bring it up because I always kind of think, like, how are we going to transition from going from one business to another, the transition of what is photography, or like is it a fast-paced business, right? And what is the coffee business like, right? We don't know what to expect from this roasting type business, like manufacturing. Is it fast-paced, slow-paced? So going from one business to another, right? It's going to be a little different.
Isn't every business pretty fast-paced if you're running it yourself?
Not really. I mean, it's a different pace. They're all different pace, right?
How would you know, though? Because we don't really know.
Well, I'm just saying, like, we got a little bits and tastes of a startup.
Yeah. Of
how Super Jewelry like required a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And I think we worked way too fast and got burnt really fast. Right? So there's different paces, and obviously at different levels.
Okay, so you're looking at our pace with KLV.
I'm looking at our pace of our relationship, our marriage, with our transitions in life of where we want to be.
Okay. So you're just observing. So what? Okay. So usually
it's a cool topic to kind of talk about.
Usually your track of mind is I'm thinking of this because I fear this. So what's the fear?
The fear is also it kind of comes down to like, oh, what's the longevity? What's our next career? What's the next chapter in our relationship? And what's the next chapter in our business? Our new passion project.
What are your fears moving forward if we were to take a step in coffee?
The fear of like just any fearful business owner is
yours. Yeah,
my fear is the success of it.
Okay. Yeah. So if it doesn't work out,
are
we doing the things?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to get to the root.
but at the same time, I'm like very positive.
Yeah.
Like I'm more positive thinking in this business because there's so many doors. there's so many avenues in roasting as more like the more and more I read articles about it, and there's so many possibilities, and the people that you meet, like it's just genuine, and it's an easy topic to talk about. Like it's like talking about whiskey, and you can be so passionate about the nose and going into the smell and the roots of it. Right. So and it's been probably a while since we kind of find a commonality in a passion. You like roasting. I love roasting, but I don't want to take over your art. I know you're a lot better and you dedicated the time to it. But then I found my avenue, my lane inside this realm of coffee.
I gotcha. Okay.
But then the like if you were to ask, what are you fearful of? It's that, just like any other normal startup it's starting, like I want it to be successful, but at the same time I always think about what you said. The cons of what potentially can happen is global warming and how it will impact I
don't mean to scare you. I mean, it's just, to me, I say that more as like, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens, because the crop is not infinite. Like everything. How is it going to change in the next couple of years?
Exactly.
It'll be interesting to see.
It'll be interesting.
But it's like with any industry, there's nothing certain.
I say by the time that coffee, if something impacts coffee, everything will be impacted.
I don't know. I can't make any statements, but I mean, like with anything, it's what you put in,
But I say just keeping our mind strong, and as we push forward at a slower pace as we know it, I feel it's going to be successful. It's successful already. It's doing its thing on its own. We're refining. We're actually a team in this. We're communicating really well through this initial phase, which I like it. And it's not as fast at a pace because we're not pressured. At the pace we're going, and you bring up this fast and slow pace, does it bother you that we're going at a slower pace? Sometimes I'm confused
about what kind of pace you should be at.
What pace are we at?
What pace
Sometimes
do you go?
I feel like now that you've taken over emails, I do have a lot of energy. But then sometimes I also feel drained just because of shooting in the heat. The heat gets to me, right? And the heat gets to anyone that works out in the sun.
I feel burnt out also. So I'm just like,
but the moment I hang out with friends, like today we hung out with friends, when we sat on the turf, I was like,
you get energy from that?
No, I was like so tired. I
was so tired. I was like,
guys, we're old. We're all old.
Everybody's all like, I'm so old. I'm so tired.
I can't even say a word. I mean, I'm glad
I didn't talk a lot.
We were surrounded by them, and I was like, this is awesome. I mean, I love hanging out.
Just being in their presence, just
love
like
hanging out like with our friends, and but
I'm tired.
But we're all tired.
We are all tired, yeah, it's that time of the year.
But it's just the feeling of what pace are we at, and we always also talking about in the car, like, what is your fear? And with kids as well, right? Like, what you're conditioned,
the pace in the relationship.
You're conditioned, like, if you can go either way, right? And then you ask me, like, what's the bottom line of what yours are, and then you ask me a specific question.
What did I ask?
Like, are you running away from something? You could possibly unconsciously running away from something. Well,
I said, to clarify, I said, could possibly your fear of like your lack of parenting from your parents, and you deciding you don't want children because of your parents, not because of what you truly think or believe. And you sat with that idea for a little bit, and I could see your like mind cranking in there, and then you brought up, maybe I'm running away, like at sushi later on, about an hour later, maybe I'm running away from something. I was like, maybe.
And if I am, right, and sometimes, and I clearly told you, I don't know sometimes. I
Yeah,
don't
and that's
know.
okay. You don't know what you don't know, right?
I don't know, and I don't know that feeling. I don't know. Like, it's a weird feeling that I can't even describe.
It's good. You're getting more self-awareness.
But other than that, it's also okay if we decided to have kids, right? The pace of that, pace with the coffee, the pace with this, and the pace, who knows what, right? Correspondence with email. Things will start to, I guess, fall in its own place.
Yes.
And you really can't just control everything.
Yeah. Well, that's what I just mentioned to you. It's not that I'm like, I really want to make it clear that I'm not trying to convince anybody to have kids or even myself. I want to just be really like, we should give ourselves a safe space to consider it, even though we said no kids, and really consider why we're making that decision and not based on what, kind of like what I feel we've been putting out into the world for the last 10 years of our relationship. It's like, nah, we're not doing that. But not really truly having an honest discussion and really discussing, well, why do you feel that way? Is it because you really feel that way, or is it because you're damaged?
Yeah, it's
or
mainly
hurt,
damaged.
Or are you
me.
hurt?
Yeah.
Right. So that's a big difference in you and when you make a decision. It's like, if you make a decision that's coming from fear or from hurt, it's not really your decision anymore, because something hurt you or something damaged you. And so now you're taking on that hurt and then trying to make a decision. It doesn't really work.
Yeah.
So it's not really true. It's not really genuine. That's why I say to you is like, well, let's, ask the right questions and just explore it, where it's like, maybe you're just hurt. Right?
Yeah.
And the denial that we were dealing with and helping each other through, and realizing, oh, like, I got hurt when you didn't spend time with me.
Yeah.
And that's okay to say it.
Yeah.
It's not that we blame our parents. And I think most Asian kids that say, it's okay that my mom and dad spanked me, like, we all say that. We do. Most of us who are like at our age and we went through that, they're like, it's okay. But I think deep down inside, we're all like, but it really did hurt me when you did that. Right? And we don't allow ourselves to accept it or acknowledge it. And that's why we can't truly forgive our parents sometimes. When I listen to all the JK people, same upbringing, like you, like me, like, they just had really hard upbringing, parents and stuff.
Well, we're the first generation
to be here, right?
To be here.
And of course, we all say the polite, diplomatic thing is like, I understand why my parents did that. But let's also acknowledge our own hurt. Because then if you can't do that, I feel like you're not truly allowing yourself to heal.
Yeah, I kind of see how the first generation is very impacted. I mean, some of our parents are probably impacted as well with cultural differences. But we're more impacted because we're juggling between the Western culture and wherever our parents were originally from.
It's different.
So growing up, it was a lot to juggle. I mean, I knew I was confused as a child, like trying to figure out, why am I learning to speak English, but then I'm never going to utilize Vietnamese? Like, why are you teaching me that, right? And then all of a sudden, they put you in private school and they're teaching you Spanish at first grade while you're trying to learn English. So I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, and then parents don't have the facility to explain why.
Yeah.
Right? They can't. They just say, I don't have fucking time to explain it to you. Boom, you get a smack, or boom, you get spanked, because they got work to do, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I get it. But at the same time, right, if we don't go, damn, that hurt, and, like, I want you to acknowledge that you hurt me, and then, like, we all want that. And
well, luckily, your parents kind of adapted the Western culture a lot better. I would say my parents didn't. They still kept, I mean, I feel like the Vietnamese culture over there, they're all entrepreneurs. They all have a business. So when they come over here, they automatically kind of run it the same way. And if you go to Garden Grove, you'll see like every little shop is a business. Right? In that community, it's like its own bubble. Yeah.
The culture is definitely different in terms of assimilating.
Yeah.
Filipinos have been trained to assimilate since they came over to like Louisiana a long time ago. So the culture is definitely different in terms of assimilating, and all all Filipinos in the Philippines can mostly speak English also, so it's a little bit different.
And I mean, it's been like that for a while.
Long time, yeah.
So, but most, I mean, it's pretty, there's a lot of influences, and I feel like I just worry too much as usual. I'm so future tense when it comes to, okay, so having a kid, I need to prepare myself, and
if that's something you wanted,
$15,000 for the first year, and then a lot of, like, for example, our friend did watch her show, and he said that's ridiculous. Like, why are you prepping for all this? Like, why are you worrying about it? You don't even have anything. You don't even have a kid, and you're. I understand that, you know, like, but
it's
I
okay.
think I always been.
It's okay to feel that way.
Yeah, I'm always like a person to be overly prepared than being underprepared.
Yeah, thank goodness. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've already dealt with situations being underprepared so many times, and it's like starting out a business when you forgot something because you were underprepared. Yeah, and I hated that feeling. I remember that one time that scarred me for life, that I forgot the backdrop for a photo booth in this one event, and I had to boom my way through from Dana Point back to Yorba Linda to pick up the backdrop and go all the way back.
Yeah, and then it happened again with the paper.
And that, so that feeling,
sucks,
right? It's the worst feeling. And it looks like you did fail in life. And I know the fear of failing, right? And you got to fail to learn it. But then if you knew it, I mean, you know it, and you know to be smart and ask questions and ask from other people's experience, that's the smartest way you can do. Yeah.
But your standard is incredibly high for yourself, and so that I think that's why it's hard for you to imagine even like not being prepared, this very, very unstable, uncontrollable situation of being a parent, right?
Yeah, that's uncontrollable. That's why I can't even put my hands on it. It's unexpected. I'll have to, like, you know, I can't run everything exactly to it, because we're very routine people. We like things a particular way. That's why, it's hard to wrap your head around it and how life would be. Like just seeing Amaro run around, it's uncontrollable, you know? I'll be like, oh, this is not a routine anymore.
There's no routine anymore.
There won't be routine for 3 years.
Right.
And the only routine you can do is your job.
I mean, that's the big thing. That's good. So you're coming into realization of what the decision is really coming down to. I think the decision
is, if you want, like, the decision that I've been thinking more and more is, do we want a family?
And are you okay with not having control of everything?
Do we want a family? Do we have time for a family? And are we able?
It's not do we have time. It's, are you going to make the time?
Are you going to make
the time? It's like with anything. And that's what I've been trying. I feel like you're not really grasping the idea yet, which is okay, because I understand your mindset. And again, it's not to convince you to be like, oh, suddenly I want kids or something. But it's just like, when you make the decision to do that, you are agreeing to these things. It's like marriage, right? If you're agreeing to marry someone, you're also agreeing to these things.
But for sure, I mean, we had this conversation of saying that if it wasn't for the research of, not having a kid by 35, and you have all these...
the time.
The time crunch, right? Then it's so much better to have kids later in life.
Yeah, we were talking about, we would feel less pressured. Less, I guess, throttled with the idea.
Like every parent, right, out there, if they said, hey, you can have a kid by 45 and you'll be safe. Right? Then that's amazing. You can just focus. I bet everyone will just focus on their job, on their goals in life.
And live their life first.
I feel like with that pressure saying 35, you barely started working at like 26 and saving by the time you're in your 30s.
I feel like I did not understand like so much about myself, about real love, about real relationships and friendship until I turned like 33, right?
Which is
I'm gonna
normal.
be 33, so.
Which is normal because people don't even get married until they're 28, 29 within our generation now.
Yeah.
So to really dive in deep into your marriage, it's not going to happen within the first year. It's going to kick in on the second year.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
But to allow time, right? Like to give proper time to what you want it to become and what you want it to do.
Yeah, that's why it kind of went back to this topic of fast-paced, slow-paced. It's like you have our life on this earth is very short, and
very short.
I feel fast-paced is a cool way of living because you're making your life worth it. You're doing everything every minute.
I see.
You know?
Yeah. You're maximizing.
You're maximizing. I love that, to maximize life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know what slow pace feels like. Maybe it's like Maui, and that's just way too slow for me.
Yeah, it was pretty slow.
I feel like I was getting dumb like every minute, not doing anything.
Yeah.
I was getting jitters. Like, no, I really can't operate at that level.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
But
yeah, anything else comes to mind?
Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. It's just interesting. It's not like
How do you feel? Like, do you feel like you can have kids at 40?
I think it's possible because, like I was telling you, like there's so many people that do that.
Didn't your mom have Jenna at?
She was older, but not 40.
She wasn't 40?
No.
What was it?
She was probably in her 30s.
38?
30, no, maybe 26, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 34.
Oh, 34.
So still under.
Yeah.
34 or something. So, yeah. I'm 33 already this year.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
But I think it's possible. Like, you never know. But yeah, I don't like this pressure to make up my mind or whatever.
That's what I don't like. Yeah.
And
I feel like it's like just cultural pressure.
Yeah.
Society pressure. I think it's like they say the number 35 just to make you go into the system or something.
Maybe it's a marketing thing like Got Milk or something, and they're just making you kind of go through
the cycle so they can get.
They can depend on that when everybody's...
Yeah, they depend on each generation.
Because it is expensive.
Yeah, it's just to meet quota probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm open to it. I don't get any pressure from my parents, or I don't let any social pressure affect me. I don't let friends' pressure affect me. So it would truly be like if I came to that decision. I've always known before I met you that I could be a mother if I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Because I have great examples, and like I feel like if I have the capacity to do it because I can care if I want to care. I could do it if I wanted to.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know about being a good mother. I know I would definitely give it my best, right?
Yeah, and the uncontrollable aspect is doing your best at the same time.
Doing my job.
Managing a business.
Being a wife, right? So I'm sure if it came down to that I would be able, and I'm already pretty like, I don't have a standard where I'm like, if I'm not the best, then, fuck all or whatever. But like, I know that there'd be a learning curve with everything, and I'd be okay with not having control over everything. I think I'm not totally sold on that yet, just because I'm still in that phase of my life where I'm still healing a lot of things, I guess. I couldn't confidently tell you with 100% like, oh, I'm okay with giving up control. I can't really confidently say that because I am particular too. I'm like, no, I want to do this right now, or I don't want to go, so I don't know. To me, it would also depend on, like I said, it's conditional on whether or not my partner is ready, like whether you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Or I feel not even ready. That's the wrong term. That I feel that you're with me.
Yeah.
In the same level of commitment, in the same level of...
In a family aspect, are you with me? Yeah.
are your decisions coming from love or are they coming from fear?
Yeah.
That would have to change, especially, and me too. It's not like I'm come up to my level. I think we'd have to be on the same page as, if we're making this decision, is it coming from love or is it coming from abundance? Like, we will do our best. We will take on parenthood in the best way that we can. We understand that things we can't control all the time, but I won't be like, oh my God, if we have a kid, like, what's going to happen to my business? I'm not going to be able to answer or hang out. I'm like, I won't have none of that will be on the table.
Yeah.
The decision will come from a place of abundance. Like, we're going to do our best. We're going to make time. We're going to, like, it's all going to be positive. That's what I would like it to start off as. Mm-hmm. And then to, just make very clear conditions the way that we would run a business or something, because we've learned. Right. And because we understand how important it is to be on the same page with each other and to be a team, like to reiterate being a team in this new venture of being a parent. I think it's totally different than being a team as a couple. That's different than being a couple raising a child of your own. That's a different thing. And so there would just be a lot of things that I think we would need to check off or prepare or be on the same page with.
Yeah.
And it won't be perfect.
Yeah.
But that's what it would be for me.
Yeah. I mean, there's many things like why we moved to this community as well. Mm-hmm. I just kind of felt you were conditioned, right? Mm-hmm. When we moved here, like, you just never know. We got a school right here. It's like everything is like in its maybe. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
That's what you thought about when we purchased here? I didn't even think about that.
Oh, well, I thought, the selling point is great. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's a good buffer. Mm-hmm. Like, if we were to make a decision. I see. Yeah. Like, everything kind of fits in place.
Like, it's ready for you if you want.
I was so future tense already. Yeah. You already know.
Me, like, I wasn't. I was just like, I like that garden.
I was just overly, like, prepared in and out of everything. And,
I see.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, I do rely on you to be thinking of us in that way. It's good.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. But I'm usually, like I told you in the car, I'm like, when I make a decision, I make it. Mm-hmm. It's done. Yeah. But I guess with this, because I know that you're feeling, or that you're becoming more self-aware, I could change my mind too, right? Yeah. So like I told you, I'm conditional.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting more mature. I'm
getting more mature.
Yeah, I do feel a lot. I mean, like, just seeing my brother growing up and everything, I'm growing up because he's growing up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was like a kid when he first started. Yeah. And then now he's an adult. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's going through different motions, and I was like, holy crap. And then I'm like taking my brother out and we're surfing and everything. This is something, I wanted when I was a kid, was a brother that we could hang out with. And
that's true. You didn't really have that.
Yeah. So, I mean, now it kicks in, which is pretty cool.
Hold on. Let's wait for this. It's going to mess up my audio.
Is that my truck?
Is it?
Yeah.
You can check it.
No. It wasn't my truck. All right.
It seemed a little too gentle. Yeah. So.
But then, slowly I see, I mean, he's not like drifting away. We're still in contact. I think we have a really strong bond because we've been with him for so long, mm-hmm. like since when he was in 5th grade. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. But I mean, he needs to grow up in his own way. And I know that would be great for him, because then he'll come back as a new man. Mm-hmm. And we'll be, bonding even further. Yeah. 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 So
it's exciting for him.
But other than that, like within that process, I have to mature in my own way. We're gonna mature together in our own way. Mm-hmm. But then you're gonna mature your own way as well. Yeah. Yeah. Being a better person for yourself, me being better for myself. And yeah. So there's a lot of things.
Yeah, it's cool. The show has really it's really shown a light on both of us where I've never seen it before in you and myself. There was a lot of, before when we tried to do it, when it was kind of like we were doing it from a fake place, I guess, not the truly genuine. Like, this is so genuine, right? Like, this is week by week we show you our marriage and our relationship and what we're talking about. It's very like real.
Yeah, and then people come up like, thank you for expressing yourself, and just
now
random. I'm like, yeah, if you guys want to know me, I'm here. I'm real, man.
Yeah, and you've blossomed. Like, now you're truly comfortable. There are moments where I see what's somebody going to think of me if I do this sort of thing that would hold you back before. And I like seeing it slowly. You letting it go, like, like this is me, you know. Like, I want to see that.
I'm fine with this.
You know?
This is, I just don't know, but I still fear when someone puts a camera on me and film me and ask me something like.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
like
that takes practice.
That's a total different.
But
story.
to be real with me, you know, like that in and of itself, I think, and we're a testament to this. Is we weren't real with each other for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, there was like a lot of being polite, or I don't know what they're going to say, so I'm going to just say what I think they want me to say. Yeah. Right? And there's a lot of that goes on in a marriage. So,
yeah, and our friend said marriage is difficult.
Yeah.
Marriage is difficult. It's not...
it's work.
I mean, you want to be with someone, right? It's going to be work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's really the thing that it comes down to, and it makes decisions a lot easier if things are hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to be together or not?
Yeah, but
that's it.
It's very rewarding.
Yeah.
To have someone that knows you so well, that just provide you unconditional love. Mm-hmm. It's rewarding. Yeah. Not even your friends will do that, you know, in a way. Like, they don't know, they can't. Try living with your friends for like a year, you know, like by the end of that, you're like done. Yeah.
I think I want to live on my own now.
Yeah. You want to live on your own. This is not the person that you're going to have sex with and make love and share.
Every bit of you.
Yeah.
Your best parts and your worst parts. We show our worst parts to each other.
Yeah.
And
but then you're
you don't
able
think about
to
that.
Rebound.
Yeah.
And, you know, care for each other still.
Yeah. I mean, that's why you really can only, that's why monogamy is like, man, you can only do that one time, okay? It's a lot of work.
Yeah, monogamy is hard.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. You have to devote to one person, you know. To do it with multiple people, it'd be, I think your brain would get a little schizophrenic, like, oh my God, I have so many personalities.
No. That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's good. Like, it's transferring it into our own personal life, and it took quite a minute to transfer what we do and the way that we talk to each other now into like when the cameras are not rolling. But it's really cool. It's really nice because we now have the tools. Before, it's like, how do I bring this up? Yeah. Or how do I rebuttal, or how do I say my piece without being defensive or attacking? And now it always just feels like, well, if I were on the show, this is how I would bring it up, right? I wouldn't want to be like yelling and stuff like this, or so like we were talking about the coffee, or any of the conversations that we have now about business, all the things that used to are triggers for each other, they're like slowly going away. Yeah. And we're like, we both can recognize them. We're both self-aware, and we make corrections as we go a lot quicker. And it's been like night and day difference than last year at this time.
Oh, yeah. But then we're progressing a lot quicker.
Last year. Yeah.
We're progressing a lot quicker.
Yeah, we just got better at it. You know, so this is our practice, you know, to be a good husband and wife here on the show. And then in real life, when the cameras aren't rolling, what are you doing, you know? Yeah. And that's what really matters, I think. I wish we could extend that gift to other couples.
But, I mean, other couples would have to kind of take whatever they can learn from us and do it in their own way. If they want to, yeah. Yeah, do it in their own way.
But just having the courage to be real with each other.
Well, other than that, I know you had some stuff you wanted to share.
I did, and now I can't. Oh, yes. Okay, I think now. So earlier, I just got off birth control. So I've been feeling very weird. Like, it's up and down with me. Like, one of the biggest things was feeling tired all the time. So when you take birth control, what it's doing to your body is it's tricking your body to thinking it's pregnant already. And that's why you don't have a period. Well, with my particular birth control. And that's why, that's why. So with that being said, like you're kind of like messing up your cycle, your body, the way that your body operates, and hormones really control a lot in your body as a woman. And so with me coming off of that and just like, okay, I'm not just going to take it anymore. Like I've been feeling, like especially sex drive will be up and down pretty drastically. And then I remember I was like, when I was on it, it was like really hard for me to feel anything. And because and I think it's because of the birth control, right? And I'm like, oh, maybe it's something else. Or, you know, I'm the type of person where from morning to night, I need to see what I want to see in order to feel turned on, basically. So like after coming off the birth control, and it's only been like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I was just feeling weird, right? So this or irritable. This past week, I was like just not feeling myself. The first 2 weeks out not taking birth control, I felt great. I felt like, oh, cool, I'm getting better. I'm feeling more like me. And then the third week was a little bit tough, and I was feeling like everything was irritating me. And then I realized the things that I've been learning in my chronic pain stuff, it was from certain behaviors that you were doing that were bothering me. And I got that tightening in my back. And it was because you were exhibiting behaviors that usually I don't like, and my body was responding to that and giving me a reason to like pay attention. You need to address this emotional thing that you're not addressing. You're ignoring it. You're irritated with this behavior, but you're not addressing it. That's what my body was saying to me. And I was like, okay, because it was hurting so much. And I was like, dude, where's this coming from? I never get this kind of pain. And then I remember from my chronic pain teaching thingy, they're like, well, you're not paying attention to something, so your body makes you pay attention because that's how your body is. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I give up. I'm tired of feeling like this, because that was the day that I was telling you I had that in the middle of my back thing. And it always would flare when I was talking to you about, it was about the rats and the bugs and that thing. And it was just irritating the shit out of me. So I was like, don't
bring it up.
Don't bring it up again. You know, I was really tired of this very beta male attitude about pests. And I was like, why does this bother me so much? So I did my first, it's called JournalSpeak. And I wrote all my ugly thoughts out, you know, all the mean things that I would say in a vacuum that I wouldn't want you to hear. Yeah. And this is part of the practice. So you need to expel or purge these thoughts that you feel when you're in a point of irritation or frustration or whatever. And the moment I did that, it's still there a little bit, because I think not that it's not really there, but I feel it like it will tense if I don't follow through, I guess, if I don't have this conversation right now with you. But the moment I finished, I was like, and then it like went away. It lessened. It was like this, my muscles in the back. Yeah. And then I was writing, and they're like, you're not going to show this to the person. Like, they teach you how to write it, and you can write over your words, and you're just purging things that you want to say in a vacuum, your ugliest thoughts. Yeah. And they were just coming out of me. I was like, whoa. And I'm like, because I joined the group on Facebook, and there would be many people who would talk about this type of experience, and I just hadn't done it yet. Yeah. And I was like, then I was done. And I was like, I feel better. And I didn't have, and then when you came back inside from doing whatever, I was not irritated anymore. Yeah. So I was like, ooh, cool, I'm going to share this on the show, because that was the first time I did the JournalSpeak exercise to address my emotions causing pain, and then doing something, and it worked. And I was like, whoa, cool. So I can just do this. So I remember it. So I could just do this with anything if I feel, because I just have a habit of doing that. Where somebody will do something, it's most likely you, because we spend all our time together, and I don't like the behavior, right? It's not you. But I'm just like, for me, I get turned off or I don't like it or whatever. And then I keep like collecting these feelings.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a pain, like a physical pain, a physical symptom. And then I could never get rid of my feelings because I don't want to tell you that.
Oh, I wonder why that creates a pain for you, like a physical pain.
Well, they call it TMS, and I forgot what it stands for, but it's basically your brain is protecting you from the emotional pain. So what I'm experiencing this emotional pain with you. I'm like, I'm so irritated that you're talking about this every time I see you. And then it keeps building. And so your brain goes as a protection so that you don't feel the emotional pain. It'll give you a physical pain. It's like a distraction. So you go, oh, my back hurts.
So you're not really having back pain.
No, it's real.
Oh.
But the source and why it's created and how it happens that way, how it's kind of random. It's like, it's not that somebody stabbed me in the back.
Yeah.
But it's that I'm really irritated and really emotionally distressed, that the brain goes, okay, I don't want to feel this emotional distress, because it only understands fight or flight in this state, right? In this state of stress. So it goes, okay, cool, I'm going to give you this, so that it kind of deems it as the lesser of two evils. I'll give you this pain because the emotional pain is worse.
Yeah.
Right.
But why does it choose your back?
It will choose anywhere.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to really.
That's why I was dealing with a lot of irritable bowel.
Yeah.
Random ass bunion.
Yeah.
And if I look it up in my little book right here, like this book.
Yeah.
If you look at bunion and the source of the pain and the probable cause, it says you're not having any joy in your life.
Okay.
And I developed that last year, and I was like, yes, I was depressed.
So your cousin was depressed as well.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. Could be, yeah.
Yeah. And your whoever ran in your family circle with bunions, he said it runs in.
Oh, I believe it. You be repressing some shit,
Yeah.
right? So you're not exactly experiencing joy. And if we look up the mid back, this is kind of cool. I love looking in here. I'm like, oh, cool. What am I missing? And what am I not addressing? And I'll look up a physical pain. 'Cause holler, like the last three weeks, I've not been in pain the way that I usually have been in. And it's been amazing. So I'm pretty much a believer. Okay, so middle back, guilt, stuck in all that stuff back there. Get off my back. Yeah, so I'm just guilty. I'm feeling all these things.
Yeah.
And I know they're small. And I know you have a phobia. And I know all that. And I feel guilty because I understand what you're saying. I understand that your pain about bugs is real. I don't discount it. But I'm like, I'm fucking irritated that you keep telling me about it. So it's not that I don't want to address my own feelings. That's what I was doing, and that's why there's pain there.
Yeah, I think I get the same way. I mean, the same way as you, and how you said you would always be in pain. And for me to not get irritated every time you say that as well, or every time. It's
irritating.
Yeah, or when you can't eat any specific food when we went out, or when friends ask us to go out, but I have to put a buffer to, say that she can't eat any of these things and we have to go to a specific place.
Right.
I try not to get irritated, but yeah, I feel where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So I feel sometimes if you look at the glass half empty, which is, I always have to consider him, or I always have to buffer the team.
But
and
it
be
is
like,
a part of it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I learned that this is marriage. I mean, you have to be considerate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get irritated, but
you can't be selfish.
Yeah.
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 You can't be. It's just all you and your friends. Like,
all the time. All the time.
Yeah. It's like you have a partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want to screw your partner in the back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there were many times when we were young, because we were so, I guess, naturally egotistical. We weren't considering each other, and it was like, well, what about me? And I think and that's why learning about our childhoods early on, like I was like, oh, like, yeah, I grew up kind of like alone for a long time, and I developed a lot of those alone, it's all for me sort of attitude. and being a little bit arrogant and thinking only about myself. I had plenty of time to really develop that habit. 8 years to develop the habit. Like, it's all about me. And so you have the same thing. So I would be like, oh, okay, so that's why we're sometimes really alike in how we make decisions, is like, what about me? Because we kind of grew up like that, like only child kind of feeling.
Yeah.
The big difference is finally when Jenna was born, but then like I still had to wait quite some time for us to feel like, oh, we're
you were
a team,
basically almost going to high school the moment she was born.
Yeah, and then by then I'm not hanging out with her. You know what I mean? Like I'm in high school.
You did majority like grew up alone.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I'm not extroverted. I'm very okay with being by myself. So of course I'm gonna be like just thinking about me.
Yeah.
You know. So when we got together, it's like, oh, this person is also only thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
You know.
That's pretty crazy.
So, you know, we had that similarity.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, I want to tell you that, like, oh, cool. Like, that's what I need to do. Like, when I feel those moments where it's not enough to me, I always go, is this something I should bring up to you? And then if I rationalize it, like, no, this is stupid. You just need to like purge these thoughts or whatever. Yeah. But then at the same time, like, it was cool that I could follow it up with some real, like, not just holding everything in and only saying what I want on paper. But I was like, after we hired the pest control dude, and I was like, yeah, I know. I mean, like, we'll just see what happens. Like, hopefully it all works out because we invested in this and like, and then I said, but you're okay with, like, you know, something's always going to come in. Yeah. Like you're living in nature.
Yeah,
and do you understand that?
Yeah.
You know? So like finally, like to me, it always felt like you're still focusing on how are all these bugs getting in? I'm like, there's bugs in the world.
Yeah.
All right. And like, you cannot control every single bug, every single animal. We live right there. You know, like to me, it seems very rudimentary to explain that to you. And then to explain it 10 times.
Yeah.
And then for somebody else to explain it. And then you still complaining about it. So it's like, do you understand that you can't control everything? And you're like, yeah, I get that. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Then now I can feel like I've said my piece on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good like wrap it up.
Yeah.
No arrow.
I feel good now though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was able to like freaking seal every bits and corners and for you to concrete everything. And it's like, that was good now. I feel good now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mainly that because in our Yoruba house, I felt like I had to control everything over there. Right? And it was just like, it was so dirty, you know, like, and then now we have a place of our own. We can control this problem.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, okay, what is the best solution of this? I'm going to research and make sure we are taking care of this home and that it's not going to fall apart.
No, I get it. Yeah. I understood. I was explaining my frustration to Jenna and I think my mom. I was like, why do I feel like this? And I was like, I think it's because of this, right? And about the pest control thingy. And I was like, I know that if you were to spend money on something that you feel would make you feel, even if it didn't work, for you to spend money or to do whatever you need to do and buy whatever you need to buy, it's your way of controlling the situation. I understood that. But I was like, but how do I deal with my frustration with it? And so the answer for me was the journal speaking and stuff. So no, I get it, you know, it's like, and that's why most of the time I'm just like not saying anything. Yeah. Because I'm like, you're just doing your way of controlling the situation. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm already like, dude, come what may, you know, like that's how I feel about it. Yeah. But you're different.
I'm different. I want to make sure. I mean, the article that really caused me to control the situation even more extreme was reselling the house. Is I don't want an infestation of these creatures.
That's good because
eating our foundation, right? Yeah. I was like, I don't want to deal with $1,000 where I could have controlled it with $50.
Got it. Yeah. No, yeah. As always, rooted in logistical, futuristic.
I already know. I was like, hell no, I'm not going to spend $3,000
Yeah.
if we had an infestation in our roof and all this stuff.
Yeah. To
Yeah.
me, it's fine. Do whatever you want, but don't have every conversation start off with, why are there so many? I'm like, don't.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, I think that's great.
All right, cool.
But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
To Pass the Aisle, and
Yep.
hope you guys enjoyed or take any lessons from our conversations here today. But you can check us out on Spotify, Anchor, all the social media apps, Instagram,
Just say iTunes.
and iTunes.
Yeah, that's where our listeners are.
And have a great long weekend, guys.
Yeah, we're already done with it though.
Ciao.
Bye.